Okay, let's dive into this, because the core idea we're exploring today, it's a really powerful one. It's this simple truth. The challenges in your life don't actually get smaller. You just get better. See, it's a huge shift from wishing life was easier to focusing on how you can become stronger. So let's break down exactly how that works.
And you know what? We've got to start right there with that simple, fundamental truth. Before we get into any strategies or any grand ideas, we just have to acknowledge the reality that every single one of us shares. And that is, life, with all its struggles, is just plain hard. And really leaning into that idea, well, that's the first step. Because look, before you can even think about overcoming challenges, you first have to accept that they're a constant, fundamental part of the whole experience, period. I mean, we've all been there, right? You pour every ounce of your energy into something, a project, a goal, a dream, and it just doesn't work out. It completely falls apart. It's that feeling of getting hit in the head with a brick, that crushing sense of defeat, where it feels like all your effort just didn't matter at all. So what's the result of all these setbacks? Well, it's this deep-seated anxiety, right? That nagging feeling that something is just wrong. And where does that feeling really come from? It comes from feeling separated from the one thing you always have total power over, your own response. And that idea, the idea of your response, that's where we make a really critical pivot here. Because if your response is the thing that truly matters, then the real game isn't actually happening out there in the world. Nope, it's happening inside your own head. So this leads to a pretty radical question. What if all this struggle, all this competition, what if it isn't against the world or against other people? What if you're the only player in the game? And this brings us to this amazing concept of the single-player game. The idea is that reality itself, it's neutral. It doesn't have any judgments. It doesn't care. It simply reflects your own feelings right back at you. Your beliefs, your thoughts, they literally create the world you experience every single day. Okay, so if it's a single-player game, what's the main obstacle? What's the big boss battle? It's this, the fear of what other people might think. It's a fear that's so paralyzing, it stops most of us dead in our tracks before we even take the first step. But here's the blunt, honest truth. They're gonna talk either way. People will talk if you try and fail, and they'll talk if you do nothing at all. So the only real choice you have is which kind of judgment you want to face. The one you get for being in the arena, trying, or the one you get for sitting on the sidelines watching. All right, so if the game is all in our heads and we're supposed to just ignore the noise, how do we actually win? Well, that brings us to the practical part, the blueprint for how you build belief one brick at a time. You know, the core principle here is so simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Confidence isn't something you just find or wait around for. It's not something some guru can sell you. Confidence is a byproduct. It's the result of something you build. It comes from creating your own undeniable proof. And this is the path to get that proof. It starts small, with just one step, a single action. Then you have to embrace the fact that failure is just part of the deal. And the real key? It's repetition. It's doing the work over and over and over again until you've built a mountain of evidence, your own proof that shows you, hey, I can do hard things. And look, we have to be absolutely crystal clear about this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a prerequisite. In fact, if you're not failing, it's a pretty good sign you're not even trying hard enough. You're not really in the game. Yeah, you're gonna fail. And then you're gonna fail again. It's just inevitable. But listen, those failures aren't the end of the story. They're just the chapters that come right before the one where you win. That is the path. So let's just get this straight. Waiting to feel motivated, waiting to feel ready, waiting for the perfect time, that is a losing bet every single time. That feeling is never gonna just show up. The feeling of readiness doesn't come before you act, it comes after. Action comes first. Discipline is what gets you off the starting block. And this whole idea of discipline, you know, it all boils down to one fundamental choice. Because life is gonna have pain, that's a guarantee. The only power you have in the matter is choosing which kind of pain you're willing to sign up for. And really, these are your two options. On one side, you've got the pain of discipline. Yeah, it's the daily grind and it feels hard now. On the other side, you've got the poison of regret. That's the what if that will haunt you forever. There's a reason regret is called the soul's greatest poison. You will never, ever live in peace by living in regret. There's just no peace in looking back at a life full of, I could have, but I didn't. It's a weight that just gets heavier and heavier over time.
But what's the payoff for choosing that hard road, for choosing discipline? It's mastery. It's that profound satisfaction you get from building something that actually means something. And let me tell you, that opens up a whole new universe of pleasure, one that's so much deeper and more real than any cheap, easy distraction. So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one stark, unavoidable question. You are going to die. We all are. So when that time comes, are you going to die with the echoes of other people's opinions ringing in your ears, or with the solid, real results of a life that you actually dared to build? The choice is yours.